It's your boy, Amreezy, and I'm back with another Planet MFL video where we leave planet Earth. We're sick of Earth. We head over to the Planet MFL, the Metaverse Football League, and we usually sit down with a guest. We talk, I give you an update on my team, how's it doing since last week's video, what's been going on in MFL. Then we have a guest and we get to talk to them about how their team's going. And this week we're joined by the incredible Mr. K, the big Mr. K himself, host of the incredible Yorkshire TNXP podcast. Welcome to the channel, big Mr. K.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Only one clarification there. Co-host. I bet otherwise the other two are going to fall out with me if I just say I'm the host. But we all know I'm really the glue that holds it all together, so it's all good.
Okay, well, we almost had to. I mean, I've been trying to ramp up the controversy on the channel for a while, and we almost got some great controversy. We may lean into that in a while. So there's no lead, is there? There's no lead host.
No lead host. I suppose the concept of doing something collaboratively came from myself when I was doing content, because I found myself love talking MFL. But it's a bit of an echo chamber after a while, making my own content. Love chatting with folk about it. So put the sort of message out there, got loads of responses, and it just dropped on both Bruce Leet and Root Calls, who hadn't done any content up to that point, were both like, yeah, we're interested. We got chatty, we got on really well. We're like, let's just do it, see what happens, see what sticks. And now I think 7 or 8 episodes in now, something like that. Had a few number of guests on now. And yeah, the boys and I are having a really good time, having a chat. Like yourself, we like to do a bit of long form content when it comes to the podcasts or the recordings. 1 week, we'll keep it less than 2 hours, but we're yet to get there yet.
Fingers crossed. I love it. I love a long ram. I'd hate it if it was like a 30-minute quick episode where I don't get to find out about you guys making fun of each other for your cups of tea and like all of those stuff. Like early on, I felt like Root was taking the kind of like hosting duty, and then you two were like chipping in. And then lately, I feel like you've been doing more of the hosting, and they've been. Is that conscious? Are you rotating it, or is it just organic?
It's rotated. I did the first one. As I said before, Root hadn't done content before, and he's actually had to go and doing a few live streams of his own, and his stuff's really coming on. Bruce and I have been making content for a little while, really enjoyed it. So we just made the conscious effort that, you know what, rather than have a lead host, we're all equally parity in terms of the overall content. I do a bit of video editing. Root does all the tweeting, all the marketing and all that sort of side of things. Bruce is really handy when it comes to being. It's a bit more OCD than I am, so he does a much better job at editing. I kind of just slap it together and there you go. You like it all lump it sort of vibe. Every week, rotate the host. So someone else leads the pod and we go from there.
I like it. You're a lesson in democracy for the whole world, and peace and understanding and sharing.
Peace to a certain extent.
It's mental, right? Because your voice just... it doesn't trigger me. What's the opposite of triggering where it's like a good thing? Like gives you good memories.
It gives you good vibes. I'm trying to make it sound not creepy and I'm struggling.
Yeah.
1 second. Soothing, calming, relaxing.
It might be those words. I grew up in Sheffield, so your voice is just like for the first 18 years of my life I was in Sheffield, and your voice is just like so many people I went to school with sounded like you. University, like I just grew up with so many people with your voice, so that you'll say certain phrases and words and I'll just be like, I'll just take me back to Sheffield instantly. I love it.
Yeah. I'm West/South Yorkshire based, so it's sort of a mixture of various different little Yorkshire dialects and what's the word I'm looking for? No, it's not coming to me. But basically, in terms of it's like a bit of Barnsley, just a bit. Leeds, Wakefield, then you've got Sheffield. Like a lot of work is based in Sheffield for myself, so there's all that sort of vibe going on because every single one's slightly different in the areas. If you know, you know. Yeah. But yeah, as it all works out, me, Root, and Bruce all have some sort of Yorkshire-based connection in some capacity. So it all just made really good sense, really, that we called it what we did, had a bit of a vibe going on with it, and we just really enjoy having a good old natter.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, we do the promo early on in the show here, guys. If you've not seen Yorkshire TNXP, go check it out. Great new show on MFL. We had Bruce Leet 2 weeks ago. We will have Root coming up, but for now, we're getting to know Big Mr. K a bit more detailed. Now, what I like to ask 2 questions, okay? I like to find out people about what did you have for lunch, first of all?
I had a chicken salad actually today. I made homemade chicken salad.
Ooh, nice and healthy. That's what I have whenever I'm
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Oh, I need to get my life together. A couple of chicken salads for a few days, and I feel better.
yeah. I have to say, I try and find time for the gym most days. So I like to make sure that if I'm bothering making the effort going to the gym every day while being a dad and everything else, that at least I'm eating well to help substantiate it a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Are you having a Yorkshire tea right now?
I am indeed. I've got to brand it, haven't I?
Yeah. Is that do all three of you genuinely were Yorkshire tea drinkers, or was it more of a well Yorkshire? What should we call it? Or were you all
Well, it's
actually
just a
Yorkshire
case
tea
of
fans?
Well, it's more a case of what other tea would you drink, really? Like, there's nothing else really, like proper anyway, like proper tea, the right brand to go for is Yorkshire tea.
Yeah.
So anybody who doesn't, then yeah, you've got questions to ask of yourself, really.
Yeah. I mean
I know
that's
my partner, her family are from down south, and her mum sent up some Cumbria tea. I could tell straight away. It's like, nope,
no.
nope, no, no, no.
Well,
We got like
that's
five
nice.
boxes of Yorkshire tea.
Nice fertilizer for the grass there. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, someone else can drink that swill, but not me.
It's like when I'm back and forth between Mexico and UK, so it's the one thing I pack my suitcase with is Yorkshire tea bags, and
Good
I
man.
I take them out of the box and put them into Ziplocs because they don't fit as many in the boxes. And twice I've been stopped by airport security as I'm coming in, especially
Yeah.
Mexico, with
Yeah.
a bit of a history of people bringing suspicious stuff into the country. And this weird Ziplocked brown little bags every time. Hilarious questions, but the sniffer dogs usually let me go in the end, so it's worth it.
Yeah, it sounds like you're asking for trouble when you do that. Really, at least you're not doing
Yeah.
like loose leaf tea. That would bring even more questions.
That would, yeah, definitely. Yeah. The other general question I like to ask people to find out how silly you are, to find out your sense of humor is what's your favorite kind of like comedy shows, films, comedians? Who are you go to? What's your taste basically?
Edgy comedy. Anything that's just really sarcastic works for me as well.
Nice.
I have to say, I'm not really like a TV show watcher. I never have been, or loads of film. I'm not really a film buff. Never really been able to sort of like sit down and concentrate on those things. They're just not as engaging for me. But yeah, I do. That's my style of humor. I try and tone it down a little bit for the purposes of making content because
Yeah.
I think some of these major comedians can get away with it. I don't think I would somehow. So
Yeah.
yeah,
How edgy do you go? Is it sort of Ricky Gervais or Bill Burr, or is it further more edgy? Is it Joe Rogan style boundary pushing?
I can dip a toe in up the top end if you like, like the more extreme stuff, and see if it's tasteful. It's more about for me, is it clever? Because it's
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
to
yeah.
be sort of like that style of comedy and just be really loose with it and lazy, and it's just offensive, as opposed to the very clever comedy. That's the bit that really gets me. That's what I like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be able to sort of reel off a list of names of all these different people. I sort of dip in and out of these sorts of things, but yeah,
Yeah.
I tend to be quite relaxed, happy to chat about anything, chat to anyone. The sort of person that if you put me in a room of 100 people I didn't know, I'd know most of them by the end of it.
Nice. Nice. That's a good outlook to have. And I do hate
Yeah.
that type of comedy where it's like, it's only shocking. And it's like done
Yeah.
just for the sake of shocking. Like, I'll just say this because it will get a reaction. There's loads of, not even just comedy, just loads of that online now. It's just like, I'll say I hate MFL just to get some people to say, oh, why do you hate MFL? No, it's not like that.
Marketplace is dead. Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Marketplace is dead is such a. They should just ban the word dead from any Web3 content because it's just so overused. In every game, it's like, it's dead. This is dead. Marketplace is now dead.
we've had this conversation a few times on the pod. Like I constantly keep an eye on the market for various reasons. And I was looking at it today because I see people were buying various different packs, and then I'm curious, like, oh, what did they get? So then I go to the agency and look at the most recent players and work out who they got. I go, actually, that was crap. Or not too bad. But there's a lot of like transfers like, all the time. I've just kind of muted the transfer feed on the MFL Discord because
And what you're studying that, all of that. You're just because you are part robot, aren't you? You do like your AI, your robots. So
yeah. I love data, numbers, statistics, patterns, things like that. Very mathematical in the way I look at things. So looking at the market and looking at general trends and looking at it and going, actually, that player went for interesting. That seems against the book the trend. Or that price seems a bit high for that level of player at this point and the market. So then I jump on it, and then I notice the sort of well-roundedness to the stats, or the amount of progression they've made over a short period of time. And there's the justification. Sometimes it's a transactional thing, like they're buying in bulk, so they pay a lot for one player and then get load for 0.01, things like that. Not them, but I love keeping an eye on it, seeing what's out there. One of my co-owners in my silver team that I co-own with two other managers, we like to room all the time, so he likes opening a pack, so I'm constantly updating him with the current average price of packs, because trying to speed that degeneracy all the time. Because I pointed out we do need another DM for our silver team. And I was like, oh, well, a rare player pack's only $107 on the marketplace at the moment. That doesn't seem too bad. He's not bitten just yet, but give it a bit more time. We'll wear him down.
So if you guys need a DM, you're kind of you don't want to go to the market and find the DM. You'd rather get the pack and roll the dice and maybe get a better one than you could probably buy for that price.
It's degeneracy and it sounds fun. It's not a good way to do it, and it's not something I advocate in doing either. I would prefer to go to the marketplace to see what's out there. In terms of my agency, the top half of my agency with my rares, most of them are in excess of 27-ish, some are touching their 30s and stuff like that. But for the price I get them for, I feel like I got a very good price for them. And I view the market as this fluctuating sort of model in terms of if the prices are down and you can't sell for as much for what you could before, the inverse is the same as well, that you can buy for less. So it's sort of, I've invested during the down period more heavily in the rare market, because I wouldn't have had the opportunity to then buy into rare, then go up to bronze and the silver teams and things like that. And actually, at the moment, I've made a bit of an assessment myself, so I'm not going to try and flog my wares while I'm on your stream. I'll leave Root to do that through social media marketing and our platforms marketing. But I've got 4 players that are 24 under, 3 are teenagers, and they're all 80 plus rated.
Nice.
But I've just put them on for high prices, then sent a message out and said, look, if anyone's interested, I'm happy to release them, discuss an idea and a deal, because I'd rather reinvest their value into becoming more sustainable. Got lots of ideas around that. So I'm sort of looking at the fluctuations of the prices of the market and the demand and things like that. But what I noticed today, straight away, as soon as they dropped the Goal Rush, what do they call them again? The Goal Rush Dev Center passes. Suddenly, loads of common packs start being sold, and limited packs and stuff like that, because people might be looking for a player to shove in the Dev Center.
Yeah.
That's my rationale. Or like lots of common player packs were selling for the normal ones for $2. There's quite a high average in terms of what they sell for, but supply and demand. And then young players like 21 or under, no matter how good they are, they kind of seem to be shifting the money. If it's only $1, but they're moving. Same as Gold Rush, actually. When people were sandbagging in the first 12 hours, suddenly all the 30-something rated players suddenly started being bought. And it's fine, it's all good. But I love watching all of that and just looking for interesting quirks.
We both have kids, so there may be a few editing cuts here and there. But I'm going to go back to my question, which was, it was how I buy players usually is just after pack drop. Because I just see like people open these packs and they're like, oh, I don't want that guy. They list him. And I think I bought like 75% of all the players I've ever bought have been just after a pack drop, when I found someone. Because usually before the pack drop, I'm looking at the market going, okay, I know roughly the value of the player that I want, how much they're going for. And then straight after pack drop, I'll notice it lower and then I'll swoop in and take a gamble. But I never thought of after the things like after the Gold Rush, after... That's an interesting way. Is there anywhere else that I'm missing? Is there any other areas when prices take a bit of a good opportunity?
I would say the mid-season transfer window, just before people might be starting to think, I want to do X, Y, and Z, so I'm going to try and list some players. Where can I release some value so I've got something to invest with, or pre-pack drop, I want to sell a few. And what I notice is if someone's interesting, but the price is too high, add them to the watch list. And then come back to that, because as soon as they're no longer listed on there as the market, I'll remove them. But what you'll notice over time is the prices, like most people, you start dropping in price. If you've not got a single sniff within 12 to 24 hours of the value you're at and you're trying to sell, the demand for that player at that price is not there.
Yeah.
You can market them as much as you want, but it's just not there. Because technically speaking, no MFL player actually has a value. Every value we assign to these players is based on what you see the value as and what the community sees the value of, like another manager. It's completely arbitrary.
Yeah.
Like if I turn around to my missus and say, I've got an 81 rated 21-year-old centre back who's Brazilian, how much do you reckon he's worth? Bugger all. Means nothing. It's pixels on the screen. And that's, I know it's NFTs in our case, even though I think MFL did a cracking job for making people not view it like that in a negative way, because they've all got an expiration date at some point. But it's we assign the values ourselves based on what we believe the value to be within the game. So yeah, just before pack drop's a good one. I agree with just post pack drop, but it depends on the caliber of player you're going for. Limited and common, I think you can get some absolute bargains because it's like offload, offload, offload.
Yeah.
I think rares is trickier because people want their value back for the amount they've just spent, which makes sense.
Yeah.
They don't want to dump them because they might well progress in some capacity, but stuff like that. I like to look last couple of weeks of the season because people start prepping agencies for where I want to be doing next season. Do I want to be shifting players on? I want to get more clubs. I try to shift clubs. And there's so many bags at that point because also not as many people are buying at that point. They're sort of focused towards the end of the season or they're looking forward to that mini break. And I particularly look at who is selling. So if like 4 rares go up, are they all from the same manager? If they are, that tells to me they're trying to sell a lot for some reason.
Good tip.
If I'm interested, I monitor them because what you'll notice is their prices just slowly start coming down because they're wanting to shift, they're actively trying to sell. So yeah, there's lots of interesting ones there. I wonder if that left back's still available. It's just daunting.
Is that all day? What you're constantly doing? Like, I wonder why that's left winger. Is he still? That right winger from 2 weeks ago. He must be $2 cheaper now.
Not quite. No. I'm not that obsessive. Yes, the left back, has he sold? Yes, he did sell in the end, and I thought it was an incredible bargain. Yeah, Cosmo must have done sort of deal because he bought him for 0.01. So that tells me he's bought a number of players as a package deal. As this manager no longer has any players. So yes, Cosmo's done a bit of a catch-all, buy them all in one fell swoop. But I like monitoring these sorts of players.
Because you're half
what sort of value we get. Yeah, exactly. I like data though, and I see numbers really quickly. I see patterns really quick, so I enjoy that aspect of it.
Last buying related question: what period of the season do you think is? Do you ever buy players like? Because I don't really buy players mid-season, but I always wonder if I should because maybe the prices are lower, but like mid-season, and then you just get that player at the end, or am I not really missing much?
I suppose it depends. There's lots of factors to that one. If you go for the mid-season, people don't sell as many, or they are, but they're contracted, so they still get the utility for the rest of the season. If you're happy to sort of go, you know what, they've got the older ID number, they're a bit older. If the retirement symbol comes up, I've still got 4 years utility. It's a 4 seasons utility out of them. Then you can get some absolute cracking bargains because everyone fears that retirement symbol. But the sort of discount you can get there is incredible.
Yeah.
And equally, it's worth when you are looking at that, if you're thinking about MFL returns, especially if you're going for higher rated players than necessarily your agent where you're currently competing, you're preparing for, they quite often can be out on loan on decent rev share contracts. So you inherit that rev share. I remember doing that the first season I went up, I was looking to buy into rare some more, and I had sort of 6 or 7 players on like 10% contracts in iron or bronze, and there was some sizable returns. And even for the caliber of player, I was like, I got 16% for an 80 rated left mid that I picked up in the mid-season window or just past it last season. Because the guy was playing him in iron, he finished first, and he didn't hit the 15 game threshold, and he couldn't do when I went to buy. Because I had a look, I went, there's like 6 games left to play, and he needed to play 8 more. So I was like, well, I'm guaranteed 16% of the rev share, whatever he gets. So I was like, just slowly ticking over those numbers. So yeah, there's loads of little factors into it. What I would say is just don't see and then pull the trigger. Don't get sort of blinded by it. And if you are going to negotiate, I found way more success by messaging the manager than just sending an offer in game. Way more success because you can actually have a chat with them.
Yeah.
So
good tips. Great tips from Mr. K. I think we're ready to jump into how we've started season 9. It started. I'll do me first. It's gonna be a horrible season, I feel, because this is my projection for my main team. First season in Stone, and it doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel very optimistic. When I was building my team, I did go. I messaged a few places, and I was saying like, I think I'm gonna need to loan some big players, 75 rated plus. And someone wrote to me on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, and said, "Oh, you don't need it that high. What, are you trying to get promoted straight away? Yes, lower 70s will be fine." So my team is kind of lower 70s. Turns out, to that person, it's not fine, and I'm gonna get relegated because of that. So, thanks for nothing.
Yeah, strength creep. Strength creep is well in effect over the last few seasons.
I've seen some
Big
legendaries
time.
in Stone. I've seen like in a few
Yeah.
other leagues, legendary. Like I am not built for Stone. Clearly, like what do I do? Like, do I just? What would you say? What would? Because this is the first time I've ever been in this position. Every other season I've played, I've either been projected to challenge for promotion or mid-table. I've never actually been the worst team in a league. So it's new ground for me, and I'm kind of like, what do I do? Do I just really go for the cup? Do I just really target the games when I play these kind of guys at the bottom and hope I scrape some wins from the better teams? Because it's tricky, I think.
Right. What I started doing automatically when you showed me this is I've gone straight to your league and I've started loading up all the pages for all the different clubs that you are in your league because this can be incredibly misleading. I mean,
I
what's
hope it.
the top? Well, number one, what's their overall MMR? 79.54. Okay. So all these parameters are literally overalls, but we could look at, for example, if we went for a 75 rated player, we could look at 10 75 rated players, and I think hands down we could say those three are far better, even at the same position, than those three, because it's
Yeah,
all to do with the overall calculations. So overall, it's just a number. It doesn't always translate to good player in game. So we've got Rolling Stoners. There's an interesting name. 24 players. That's my first thing. I look at size of squads because I think that can be inhibiting for people. 19 for Little Big City. I also look at the manager, who they are, and if they're a well-respected manager in the game, or have a lot of clubs. That's an interesting one as well. 19 a game. So a lot of these aren't the largest squads, so there'll be ring tight rotations. 25 in that one.
so it's a
20 a
good sign if you see
game.
a small squad size.
I think small squad size is going to struggle to maintain a challenge in league and or cup without very good squad management,
Yeah,
very good rotations, and hopefully them not hitting too many suspensions and things like that. Because as soon as you hit a suspension with a 17 to 18 man squad and you've got a rotation plan, it goes out the window. I'm not going to do it now because we might be here for a while. I also look at the squad and go, okay, what's their capability to run numerous formations? Because I'm a big advocate, 17 players in one squad, so that's a very tight squad, 18 a game. So you've got a bit of like sort of 70% of the clubs in that division looking at sort of 17 to 19 players, so tight rotations. How much tactical flexibility do they have? Are they just going to run the same formation? Because if they do, win-win for you if you've got tactical flexibility because you can change things up. I built all my clubs, for example, this season to be able to run 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2, 3-5-2-B, and 4-1-2-1-2 wide. And because within that, I feel like I've got lots of options. They might not all be great formations, but they might well, over time and testing, outperform others. I love chatting to other managers like Kev and stuff like that about their sort of insights so far, and we
yeah,
share sort of tactical insights and what we found works. So, like for example, Kev shared his tactics before I've shared mine, and we just sort of test them for each other and see what we think. If we've got any further thoughts on what works for us and might not work for them. So straight away, I'm looking at that and going, okay, well, how can you get a tactical edge on these teams? And if they start running the same tactic every single week, you can play against that. You
yeah,
can counter that. And just because you've got a 72 average, well, how good are the players? Like, it's top 16. You've got 23, so you've got a nice chunky squad, which is good. Quick eyeball. You've got wingers, that gives you options. You've got cams, you've got CMs, you've got CDMs, you've got LM. You haven't necessarily got as many left mid, right mids in
no,
terms of I don't know how good some of them will play, which is fine. You've got a good amount of centre backs to run a three back if you want to. You've got cover for the fullbacks. Overall, fairly solid. I mean, your backup goalkeeper might be a tad questionable, but other than that,
Yeah, big time. Big time.
big time. Have you tried looking at some of the larger agencies and seeing who they have still available that haven't got a club?
I have a little today because after
Yeah,
yesterday's defeat, I was a bit like, geez, this is going to be a hard season. Maybe I need to go. The problem is, though, I've kind of got 23 players already, so I'd have to unregister
yeah.
some, work out where they go. And I'm not seeing that many good players. I find like it was easier for me when I was back in Spark to fix these kind of things. Now I'm in
Yeah.
Stone, it's a bit like anyone at that level, as they're responsible managers, they're either playing them or they've sorted their loans out already.
We are at that sort of point in the season because I'm looking for a DM for Silver now, sort of thinking I would potentially want to lean a little bit more on a double DM formation more often than not, I think, at the moment. So to do that, I could do with one additional DM, but most of the most available players are out on loan. The alternative one is if you go to scouting, rather than have open to offers or auto accept contracts, you click all, which will load every player in the game. Click on the filter for free agent, put in the specific sort of role that you're looking at, like the role
Okay.
overall of player, and then you can start looking at going, okay, who is actually available that's not contracted anywhere. They might not have them listed, but you might want to reach out to them, especially if you know who they are. Reach out to them, sort of say, I've noticed so and so is not got a club at the moment. Are you open to? And then you can explore the loan option there. Because I wouldn't necessarily go for 9% sort of contract. I don't think you need that. And I target specific areas of the pitch. Once you've sort of got an idea of, I definitely want to field this formation, probably it's my strongest, I want to field it more.
Yeah.
What is the key cogs in that formation to get it to work?
Hmm.
That's what I'd go for. I mean, it requires a lot of networking. It doesn't. You don't strike me as the sort of person who's going to be adverse to doing that.
No,
So
I'm
I
trying to.
definitely
Yeah.
doing it.
Okay, I mean, the best loan percentage thing is also interesting me because it's like I
Yeah.
feel like in the lower leagues it was a lot more like I would never go above 4%, and it would always be fine. I would always get good players below 4%, and then as I've gone up, now I'm in Stone. It's different. Like I've approached in the same way, offering 1% more or talking to people and trying to work out, and it's just harder now. So do I have to shift that percentage amount in my head? Like now it's Stone and above. Is it like you've got to pay a bigger percentage, like 6 or 7%?
It kind of depends because also if I'm the person who owns the player that you want, say it's 75 rated CM, because I've just looked at the average of your team, that 75 CM potentially is going to get some training penalties. They might be minute, but you will get some because it's
Yeah.
slightly better than your best 16 average. So all those factors aside, how much game time is he going to get? If he's an older player, not necessarily the retirement, still older player, I'm not expecting progression, but being able to harvest a bit more MFL in his golden years, as it were. Absolutely. If he's younger, they're going to want guaranteed games. They want a bit of return on investment in some capacity. It depends on the level of the player, how much potential they've got to grow, the value to that agent in making sure they either progress or I'm getting some sort of financial return in some capacity for that player. And it does get challenging. So the networking, given that you are on projections, which I don't hold in a load of high regard per se, because it gives you an idea. But like last season in Silver, I know I keep referencing the Silver team, but it's a good contextual one because they were ranked 12th out of all the teams in
Okay.
Silver. We finished fifth. We finished fifth in the league and stayed up. And
Yeah.
some far stronger teams with sort of 8 MMR stronger, went down. It was an interesting season last season,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
we
yeah.
might
That
well
sounds
get
it.
into.
Yeah.
But in terms of engines and stuff, it was a great level last season. But we didn't score a load, but we didn't concede a load, and we had a lot of tactical flexibility because that's how I built the team, and I made it to counter stronger opponents and just keep us in games and try and get goals and stuff like that. So yeah, I think tactical flexibility, maybe one or two if you feel like it's needed, and equally also the mindset of, well, if you did get relegated, if you'd be one of the strongest ice teams next season. It's not in the
Be more
world.
fun.
It's like Absolutely, it's just one of those. This season, opportunity to play against stronger teams, potentially more experienced managers with interesting tactics. Learn from them, try and replicate, try and counter, and take that learning down when you go. If you were to go back down twice, and if you stay up, it's a success.
Yeah.
That's the objective. That's the goal this season. And if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. You just do the best you can. And the more solid you are defensively and things like that, and keep yourself in games, the better match ratings your players get. Therefore, better opportunities for progression, especially as you own the majority of yours.
Yeah, I like it. I feel encouraged. So
good. You should be.
So yeah, I mean, today we're playing, I think, the team projected to finish top, where I looked at their squad and I compared it to mine, and I was like, wait, you only have a sea of blue here, and I literally have one player above 75 rated. So this is who we're playing today. This is going to be a write-off, this one, and then the one after, it's like a mid-table team, and it's like, right, that's the one I really go for. So I'm actually resting some players in match day 2, which feels weird, but yeah, their team is so ridiculously stacked.
Are you able to play a 3-5-2-B?
I think so. Yeah, I've got wingbacks, and who can play even in midfield.
No, 3-5-2-B, the one with 3 defenders, 2 DMs, left mid, right mid, cam, 2 strikers.
Oh, the left mid and right mid.
Do you reckon you can
tricky.
make it work? I say this because this diamond formation that he's fielded in last game, because he played another 3-4-3 diamond, every single season it's been a pain in the backside to try and counter. I think, honestly, it's not going to be very good this year from what I've seen.
Oh.
And I've been testing, so I'm expecting to field against it tonight. I don't mind disclosing this now because it will be passed, and I might be completely and utterly wrong by the time this podcast comes out. But my 3-5-2-B was overpowering it against stronger teams running it. And it's basically a high press but low line, aggressive, direct, risky passing style sort of play. And it gets beyond teams quite a lot because there's lots of pockets if you look at that sort of formation. Defending it can be a nightmare, but a low block and the coverage out wide with a low block nullifies a lot of their offensive threat. But then when you go forward, they've got a lot of room behind them. Basically, you're running a DM and 3 centre-backs with your team going like sort of absolutely gold rushing on towards them. So, yeah.
I think that's what Zuta did. He played the same formation. I wonder if he'd seen his formations maybe pre-season, and he's gone and matched him as well and got a draw. So
maybe. I mean, that might be the case. I mean, this formation has been so OP for so long. I actually faced it in a cup final last season, and I wasn't expecting, because they hadn't played it once all season, and it completely countered my actual formation to counter what I was expecting him to play.
Oh, wow.
So it was a rock, paper, scissors game, and he won the game. That's the way it runs sometimes. And to be honest, it might be you have a formation that 9 times out of 10 is going to beat it should beat the other one. Well, it can be that 1 out of 10. That can be the outcome. So yeah, I actually shared it with a fellow manager earlier today, my 3-5-2-B tactics. So we might be doing a bit of messaging in the background. With the instructions and stuff. So if you want to give it a whirl, did I pick
I'll
sent the wrong one.
Straight after this, I'll be fiddling with that.
Well, it might work for you. If it doesn't, it's a free hit, isn't it? As you were saying already. So if it helps, great.
I love that. I'm just gonna see if I will have time after this. Yeah, I'll have time after we record this for my game. And my other team, to quickly wrap up the Amreezy section, the Am Reserves, they are in Flint. They're projected to do well, I think 2nd or 3rd, so we should have fun this year in Flint with these guys. We've got quite a few players from the Fortress Agency.
Nice.
Who are Mexican, so we're fully leaning into the whole Mexican thing here. We've got, I think, 7 Mexican players, Mexico City license. We are trying to build this team as a kind of Mexican empire, so stay tuned. And I love these pitch designs as well. I'm still not used to seeing the new pitch designs. Can I move? Can't move him out of the way.
Oh, sorry then. Yeah, the Discord divas. Nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of the different alliances pictures.
Yeah,
and also
it's going to be really nice.
You've got to think of the logos next go rush, because if it's going to be on the pitch, might have to have less complicated logos, guys.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I think most of us were getting quite excited by this concept and idea. So I think everyone's been enviously wanting one. I know Bruce wanted one for the longest time, and when we were doing pod the other day with Jimbo, he was saying it was the thing he was most looking forward to
yeah,
at the whole
yeah,
goal rush, and to see if we could get it. So yeah, no, it
nice.
looks like you've got quite a strong Flint side there for me.
Oh yeah, this team should do really well. This should be
Hmm.
like these top guys are all from Fortress, so that
Yeah,
should give us the push to do well, and then we'll see how we do in Spark next year. And because it's Mexico
yeah,
City,
Mondo.
I would like to take this license as far as I can. Like
I like that.
it's
Yeah.
my main one. So yeah, we'll see. So we started the season well. We've got one team projected to finish bottom, the other teams are predicted to finish like second. So I think across the two teams, I should experience all the MFL emotions this season. So
Absolutely. Two different types of challenges.
right, let's go to Big Mr. K's team now. How many new clubs do you have this year?
I finished last season with 3, so that would be
Whoa,
6.
big upgrade. And these one of
Yes.
these is shared. Are all the others yours, or are more shared?
Give me one moment. Oh, excellent. As we were saying, I know you're going to say on the podcast, we do have children, full stop, sweetie. And naturally, I have to help my daughter get into her Frozen costume. I mean, what else would you need to
I
do?
mean,
Totally fine.
it's normal. Podcast, Frozen costume
Absolutely.
changes. They're always linked.
All good. All good. I'm so used to it because I used to do a lot of live streaming for work and video recordings and stuff. And it was either my daughter when she was a baby or my dog Frank, who's currently staring at the floor at the moment. One of the two would interrupt me. But going back to the clubs,
Nice.
let's do that. MFC Eindhoven is the shared ownership club. That's the one which I share with 2 friends of mine. One who I bought my first ever club off when I was decided midway through season 5 that I wanted not to do the Redemption Cup, I wanted a club. So I messaged him, got chatting. He's actually based over in Australia. We both leaned into the AI sort of matters sort of thing. And the third owner is someone else I met through MFL after he watched some of my content, was interested in the AI stuff, wanted some pointers, and he went on to build some really cool stuff. We all started chatting about AI related stuff. And the next thing we knew, we were all buying players together. The 3 individuals being myself, Slippery Fish, and someone called Secret. Secret?
Okay.
Potato. So it's the 3 of us owning co-ownership. So we've got a number of players in there. It's a high rev share because the general premise is every manager gets 25% rev share. Whoever is running it has 25% to play with for loans, and any excess can be kept by the manager running the club that season.
Okay.
So yeah, the boys wanted me to go again this season, so I was happy to do so. We won our first match last night against quite a strong opponent. I think they just got promoted, or in all fairness to them, from bronze. But it was a tight game. It was a good game, though. We played particularly well. I think we rolled out the 4-2-3-1 last night. That's sort of my default, the one I think is very comfortable and solid this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, against lots of different well-known managers in that league that I played against quite a few times. And yeah, this one, I think the projected 9th, something like that, this season. So a bit better than 12th.
Mm-hmm. I'll take
So
it. I'll
we
take a
shall
9th
see.
finish right now. So
Absolutely. So would I. And then, yeah, as you'll notice in that squad, there was loads of loans.
crazy MFL. As someone who's in the highest I've ever been, seeing these kind of MFL, it's like you can buy a house for that much MFL.
Yeah, it's sort of I sort of had 2 reasons to want to go up that range. One was the MFL. Absolutely, I wanted to be sort of. I noticed a big hike from iron onwards, and I wanted to be bronze and upwards. The second was I wanted to play against some of the best managers in the game and test myself.
Yeah.
And if you've got more skin in the game, the more likely to pay more attention to those clubs. So it's nice coming up tactically against those. So, like, for example, my Midlands FC are a bronze team. They're new this season. Someone was selling up their relegated silver team in the off-season. I was happy to pick them up. I had enough at my disposal to run an entire bronze club this season, predominantly with my players. I think there's only one loan in it, in the White Rose Peacocks. And this one, it's supplemented with loans. So I think I'm about 40% rev share, something like that. Yeah, 40%, with a number of loans in on various different percentages. But you'll notice I aim for 4%, as you were discussing.
Yeah.
That's primarily through networking. Those that they haven't got a home for, or they're looking for a bit of progression and a bit of a kickback as well. So happy to do that. So yeah, these guys, for example, last night we faced up against. No, it wasn't that one. Was it my other one?
Hamburg
Last night
Harbour.
I played Hamburg Harbour, and no, I don't think it was. It must have been my Peacocks team. I think they played against a Work the Space team. Faraway CPT.
What
Yeah,
is happening
seen a
with this
lot of his sort
logo?
of stuff around. Well, it's got a background, so we might have to get the police on it. Let me give Jimmo a nod. Let
Very
him
hard
know.
to sort of decipher what's happening. Like the orange and green. I think we need higher contrasting colors here.
Oh, that's something that's just reminded me. We've got a trial club as part of the podcast stuff. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but if you do, have a look at the MFL onboarding logo generator. It is honestly, it's brilliant.
I've not seen that.
So good. It helps you ideate on like team name based on because you get the location reveal thing like everyone does.
Yeah.
It helps you generate a name for there. Once you've got that, you just pick your primary colours. It gives you some sort of multiple choice. Do you want it to be bold, professional, old school, kind of the three options for a badge? And it generated one, and it looks sick because they're known
That's
for the
cool.
Northern Lights in that particular area, and they generated a thing, and it looked absolutely.
Is this one of your
awesome.
clubs?
No, it'll be Roots, one of Roots' clubs. So I don't know if you want to try and search that up super quick. I'm sure Roots running it this season, the trial club one, but it looks so clean. Yeah, I'm sure it's one of them. No, who's got it then? I don't think Bruce has got it, has he? Might be Bruce. I'm losing the plot with all this because we've also got a shared ownership club that we're doing just for the podcast. So we've got a Yorkshire TNXP one. Has Bruce got it this season? What the hell is this team?
Where's the team gone? It's disappeared.
I know. We did a video on it the other day.
Oh, no.
I don't know. It looks really, really clean though.
Oh, maybe they took it from you.
Honestly, the onboarding looks really, really good. A really good process. Excellent.
No, that team's gone.
Oh. Never mind. It's disappeared into the ether, so we'll go back to mine, I guess. Boo. So yeah.
Three in Flint. Is it because you've got loads of players in that kind of bracket, or is it just you want to get all of them up promoted?
What started down this course is noticing club prices going for like $39. I was like, I'll take that. I'll just take that because I can put players in there and I can farm them and I can look for progression. There was a 41 rated centre back that went out on loan last season for like 1%. He actually was a starter in Flint. And he didn't do nothing. He had a few sort of stat increases. Then the last third of the season, he went up +5.
Oh, nice.
But he's still 46 rated. Like, what am I going to do with that? Am I going to be able to loan him again? Will he actually play? So I've got these clubs down in Flint for the plethora of players I do have for various different purposes and progression farming. Because I've seen so many instances, the more I've looked into it, of players who look shocking, start playing, and suddenly they just take off. And I just love that sort of idea of it. I want to be able to have more flexibility to do some tactical testing, tweaking, sort of doing some tests. Like I know Bruce did one where he wanted high defensive players, regardless of the position, and he run tests on that. I want to do it for strength, physicality. I want to do it for pace. I want to do it for. I've got the remit to do it now, so I've got loads of options.
Nice.
Loads of places to play. And if I'm honest, I'm wanting to size up some more with my clubs. I want to get more licenses. I want to be able to pull some more players in. And thinking of the idea that if I just wanted to buy a squad of players for a Flint club, license costs you at the moment about $45, roughly, but they're already populated. You can build a team for $1 a piece. You just can. Around 24, 25 years old. They've got a minimum of, 4 to 5 seasons utility. In that time frame, if you just lowball it and nothing happens in the cups in all those teams and they don't go up, you're talking about 5,000 MFL. All of a sudden, that is 8 common players if you wanted to get them to further supplement it, and then you've got everything else on top of it. So that's where I'm at with it. I just like to be able to do that sort of churning idea, promote players up and down, and just build out a bit of a pyramid going on with the clubs to further support things and move things forward. Because being sustainable at the top end, you need a lot more resources, I feel, or a lot more of a footprint up there with clubs to be able to get that model, given the cost of MFL to buy those sort of packs. I mean, it did rather well this season with the rare player pack I got, but we'll come to that later, I'm sure, because I'm curious now about Abdukar.
You mentioned your your centre back who you progressed by 5. This is the worst guy that
Yeah.
I own. Nobody wants him for $1. He's been listed every summer. Someone loaned him. I was really surprised someone took him on loan because last year he was just rotting in the academy. He's done nothing for that long, and
He doesn't look very happy about it either.
he used to smile. When he was 22, he was full of life, smiling, and then each year he gets more and more miserable.
What's the contract? Out of curiosity, what's his contract?
I think 0%. I think auto
Yeah.
accepted. So
Yeah, I did that. Loads of trial clubs, people needing to fill contracts out. I just did it all. I had like 11 players left over, 0% contract offer, fill your boots, boys. And all of them have gone, including someone who's got retirement symbol. They're just willing to take them, fine.
do you not
0%,
sell
they'll
players
skip my
then?
nose.
Are you very rarely to
I
sell?
do. I do. I want to move towards a model where I've gone through many cycles, sort of finding my feet, sort of trying different extremes of the game, of really heavily investing. I had lots of clubs at one point, and then I sort of scaled down while I built a bit of a footprint further up, shifted a load of my uncommons and limiteds. Then this season, I was like, end of this season, I was like, you know what? I want to get more of a footfall across the pyramid now. Now I've got to where I am. So I've got 3 flint, 1 spark, 1 stone, 2 bronze, 2 silvers, as it works out. One's an interesting one, that one, the BFC Istanbul one, because I'm part of BFC DAO. I'm a stakeholder in that as well. Coin holder, I think is the correct terminology. And managers can put themselves forward to be the manager of a BFC DAO club. Yeah, I don't own a single player in that club. I think it's 10% rev share for running it for the season. Is effectively what you get. Most of it will go to the DAO. They finished just above me last season. They actually beat my other silver teams. They were in the same league last season on the last day of the season to leapfrog us. So I think they finished 4th and we finished 5th. And yeah, the goal with this team, we beat who were projected 2nd. We beat projected 1st in the league because they've moved leagues now. Because effectively, I own 2 clubs at the start of the season in the same league. So this team's moved leagues. And my goal with this one is to get promoted. Because I think it's definitely a strong enough team to do so. It'll be competitive. It'll be a battle, and it's usually a case of who gets the head around the engine the quickest and gets a head start.
Yeah.
So
with
that, interesting one.
With kind of season changes, engine changes, do you kind of carry old tactics across and kind of go, well, you know, this formation used to do well against this formation, or is it a case of each season you just reset and have to test everything from scratch?
I tend to keep, because every club pretty much that I've had for a while has got like 5 tactics saved that are all variations of different formations. I'll keep them. So like this season kept them, started doing some testing a bit earlier on the new engine. Once the season had concluded, I started testing then, getting a feel for it, because it seemed like they were quite ahead of the game and releasing that version. Start watching a few sort of general patterns of play and see what seems to be working. Notice quickly. I noticed quickly that more balanced team instructions in terms of like cross more and all those sorts of things balance more often than not, and more personalized individual instructions seem to be more powerful, whereas previous iterations, team instructions were more heavy hitting, and player instructions, if you gave them more than 2 than 3, they just went to pot.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't know what they were doing, over instructing them. I've gone really heavy. I've actually sent you the full breakdown of 352B that I've got. There's loads of player instructions. That's never worked before at all. But no, start with the base. Start with a couple of formations that I feel like I would like to play, so I've got the ability to do so, and see if they start working. And I try and at first it's random friendlies, and then I start targeting specific formations I know are popular or have been popular, and how do they stack up, and how do they seem to be performing. And then it's literally tweak here, tweak there, little tweak here, or watching various highlights. Both, if I concede, I want to watch it again. What was happening the entirety of the build up to the goal, not just the last second of it. And equally with my effective attacking plays, what particularly was like, that is the moment that unlocked that passage of play, not the final action. So if it's, what I've noticed this season is a ball from one flank being flinged out to the other flank, and then they've got an overload on the other side. The next thing you know, they're doing the sweaty goal, as Jumbo keeps calling them, across the box, because the option's always on, because you're constantly moving defences around. But there's loads of stuff to do with it, and I think the goal rush is been advantageous for those who do testing because they had their tactics ready before the goal rush, and then anybody who was trying to do tactic testing during goal rush was facing goal rush squads. So yeah, if you were trying to friendly against just a normal opponent rather than AI, you were getting their goal rush tactic.
You're like, whoa, they're so attacking. Why is everyone so attacking these days?
Yeah. So you're like, oh, my tactics are so good because that 4-2-4 is awful against my team. But yeah, it's just one of those. It is trial and error with a bit of what do I see as potentially is working. Oh, some of the games kicked off. I've just noticed I forgot that happened.
Oh yeah, you got two games
live. Yeah, 2 games now. Yeah, it was a bit interesting because they're all spread out throughout the evening.
Nice.
So yeah, bronze teams are going to be a challenge this season.
Which is your first team? The first team you had?
First team I ever had?
Yeah.
I moved them on a while ago, actually, for various different purposes. Which ones have I held the longest? The League's license I've held for a while. The silver one I have. Keto is actually Bosco's club that I agreed to manage last season. He did give me a bit of a poison chalice, sort of 10, 11 players on 70% rev share that were nowhere near good enough for Iron. Managed to, I think we finished 9th in the end, but got relegated because I might be 10th because it just wasn't a good strength squad. In Stone, as you might notice, it's a fairly strong team.
Yeah, that looks good.
With tactical flexibility again. And I'm not worried about the rev share too much, but again, gone for around the 4% sort of mark. And just see if I can get them back promoted to because the ultimate goal is I'm selling this club back to Bosco. But I wanted to try and get them promoted first and foremost. While he's there, the player signed on the right-hand side, you would have noticed, or you can go on here to my goalkeeper in this club.
Wait.
Mr.
Rocky?
Patel? No, Mr. Patel.
Oh, Patel.
Rocky.
What?
That was my rare player, Pat Ruan. I know.
You're gonna have him for
years. I'll have him until like 2027 or something daft.
That's very fun.
What I packed. I've actually just put him on the market today for over the odds sort of value because he was one of the 4 I was talking about to start the conversation. And if I feel like it's worth selling, so I can reinvest and aid in the profitability. True. For the amount of money I could probably get for him, I could probably get a quorum of about 5 to 6 players for bronze/silver, or I'm reinvesting in more licenses and I'm still going for the season, or he maybe goes out on loan. So yeah, I've got a few players like that sort of hovering around where I'm like, I have to do something with him.
Him being English as well, you'll get a nice fee for him. 16-year-old, 6'4". This is what you want when you pick a ideal goalkeeper like on the market. This should do well,
yeah. So fingers crossed. There's a few players like that. There's a 18-year-old CDM that I bought who's now 80 rated. He's on my just going here. It's probably going to be easier. He's 80 rated. So you scroll down a tiny bit. There he is.
There he is.
Is it Peter? I can't remember now. Yeah, Peter is Peter technically. Well, he's not. He's 5'9". But he's on the market as well. He could progress very, very nicely. He's already got a +1, being when he was 17. So it's sort of my mentality being, while I've got the longevity there, I don't want to be putting more money in the game right now to do what I want to do. If I can release some of the equity, is how I'm viewing it, in my agency, so I can reinforce and do it that way. I'm happy to release sort of 1 or 2 of them and keep the others and just see where we go from there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at your agency, you've got quite a few under 20, so...
It's about a third of my agency I looked at the other day. They're all under... Third of the agency are under 24, something like that.
Yeah. It's a healthy agency.
I've got a lot in Dev Center. Got a lot in Dev Center.
Oh, yeah.
Where are they? There they are.
Very chunky. That is one busy Dev Center.
Yeah. I'm also very curious to how well it does.
Are they all for 4 years or shorter periods?
Yes. I either do is 3 or 4. That's the only 2 options I'd take anyway. Like we had a bit of a pack challenge with the Yorkshire TXP guys at the beginning of last season. We all got it's the guy above him, Mr. Orlando, above Due Home. Got him in mine and like one of them loaned, one of them kept and played here, and I was like,
Oh
I'm chucking
no,
mine in Dev Center, and he's gone up to 59 now,
that is very
since the start of
nice.
last season. So yeah, I'm up for that in terms of chucking them in there and see how well they work, and I know I'm getting 120% mark.
That's glorious. I love
Yes, you
that.
can.
I love that progression line as it appears. Sort of flat for
Yeah, it's
ages, and
nice,
then it's.
isn't it? Yeah, because it was
Um,
like every week we were updating on the pod about how they're getting on. I was like, yeah, Orlando's still having a week off. He's not doing
is
anything yet. And then he went up +1 over the course of 2 days. He went up
nice.
+1 one day and then one +1 the following day after that. So yeah, he's ticking on. Yeah,
I,
there's lots of interesting things with this one.
yeah, I've used Development Center for the first time ever this preseason because I'd never used it. I always needed the players, and it's for the first time I had a few left over. I
Yeah,
was like, okay, now I'm in. When did you start? What season did you start?
season 5, and it was I literally joined sort of 2 or 3 days after the cutoff for late registration.
Oh,
So I had to
nice.
do the what's it called? Redemption Cup. So I was all geared up for the Redemption Cup. Just couldn't wait any longer to play. So I lined up to purchase this license I was talking about from one of my co-owners of the Silver Club now. Sold the other one, bought that one, and in that first season in Spa, it was a farm team for him. He had like 33% rev share, totally fine. But I won the cup with him that first season.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So yeah, that it hooks into me very quickly. Did play MFL. So yeah, all that's been done over the course of what will it be now? Like three full seasons, three and a
three
half full seasons now.
seasons.
We're in seasons
Yeah.
now. We're in season 9 now. So yeah, 3.5 seasons.
And who's your favorite player? Have you got someone that you
Oh,
love?
I love Alwissy there because he's just was such a stalwart last season in silver for us. He could play left mid, right mid, and cam. He went on +1 last season. I've got a
Nice.
couple that I've got a bit of a soft spot. I've got a centre back on the market at the moment who's 21 years old who are packed at 80 rated. Um, I do like him. I do like the striker that I've also got listed because again, young player, spotted him in the game early on, and I'm hoping he's going to sort of kick on with his progression a little bit more. But then past that, a lot of like the goats of the original sort of thing went last season when I was funding things, my purchases and my packs, no, my purchases and my clubs and stuff like that. So yeah, in terms of further down, I've got a left back who's 73 rated now and 18 years old. Um, Noguera or something like that. There he is.
Oh yeah, he
I
looks
really
fun.
want him to kick on. I'd really like him to kick on because I think he's really well rounded.
Yeah.
He's only got +1 so far, but I'm playing him. He's actually playing. He's playing in Spark. My
Wow.
Spark team.
Good match ratings
my
then.
Spark. My exactly because I've actually noticed that match ratings to me seem to have a greater impact
Yeah.
on progression than sort of opposition penalties, like playing against weaker opponents and stuff. But if you go on that, I feel quite dirty for it. But if you go on that Spark team,
What that
it's a
he's
bit
playing for?
obscene. It as the White Rose Phoenix. It was a case of I had these players and I got a few loans in, but it's got
I'll
like
take that
a
in stone.
72 it's got like a 72 MMR. I just didn't have anywhere else to put these players. I had a
Yeah.
Spark license. I was like, well, they'll get good match ratings. And then loads
They
of people are like, well, actually, I want players to play. And I was like, I'll take them.
they'll be good in ice next
So
year as well. So
exactly. So yeah, I'm happy doing that. I love the networking side of the game. So loaning in players, once I got over that adversity to giving away MFL share, doesn't really make any difference because it's like a case of do I have to loan? If I don't loan, then I've got to buy. And if I don't
yeah.
want to buy, especially at the upper ends, it makes more sense to loan because if you do it well as well, people are happy to loan to you again. I did this with Duff Apollo Agency, loaned a number of these guys last season. They got good progression. And straight away, when I start the conversation this summer for loans, he's quite open to it because he knows I'll look after his players.
Yeah, definitely. Guaranteed game time. Trust your tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, well, we'll see how we get on in terms of trusting tactics.
What are your plans in the future? Do you sort of want to have loads more clubs, or you kind of have you got like an idea, locations, anything like that?
I've only wanted to be precious about one location. I didn't want a elite license. I got one. 2 seasons ago. I think I put out on socials I wanted one. Risu had seen it, inboxed me and
Good
went,
old
look, what's this
Risu.
on the market? I know, what absolute ledge. Let me know.
Pillar of the X
ASAP.
community.
Jumped on the market, bought them for 115 in Flint as a license. I don't care, I'm just going to get it. So I registered that club. And then I had Bremner getting in touch because his silver league's license was getting relegated and he was doing a shuffle around. Would you be interested? So I was umming and ahhing over that. Lo and behold, someone out the blue from the community went, any chance you'd be interested in selling your Flint Leagues license? I was like, oh. So I sold them for, I think it was 145, 150, something like that, and bought the Leagues license in bronze for about 240, something like that.
That's not bad.
No, it wasn't too bad for that sort of size up, but it was like my first sort of pitch into bronze.
Yeah.
For the future, I want a large agency in terms of players. I'm slowly building that out, and I'm going to continue to do so. I want to get to a point where even if the strength creep becomes that my clubs and my players, I can't compete at the highest levels consistently, or I've got to loan even more heavily, I'm happy to accept that.
Yeah.
Bring in more players and have lots of clubs. I enjoy the development more and the testing and the tactics and the squad composition stuff. I love doing all that, the spreadsheets around it that I do. And yeah, I want to get to a bit of a sustainability model where I can sit there and go, I know what I'm earning in MFL every season aids me in replenishing my reserves of what I've got and compete at what level I'm going to be at. I don't want to lose all foothold from bronze. I'd like to make sure I've at least got one club in bronze.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far it's been a really interesting. I have to say, all three of us from my shared silver club, we enjoyed. That was the best part of our season last season. We just loved all of us chatting about it, talking about players, scouting players, loaning, talking about tactics, scouting opposition, and it was a real joint effort. Even though I was sort of the one managing, it was a real combined effort, and we all said at the end of the season it was the best part of it, and we've all loved it. So I'm glad that we're going again this season, and we set some parameters out, if someone wants out, or how much stake you need to have in the game and stuff like that. But we're all just really good mates, so it's a really good laugh.
Yeah, no, I love that. I don't know what it is about MFL, but it just seems the most nicely bringing the community way game online group I've ever kind of come across. I was trying to guess. I don't know where or someone else's show. I was thinking maybe it was on the When Dirk. I was trying to say that, like, maybe my theory is because you need to imagine a lot of this game, that it encourages people who are a little bit more creative, a little bit more, they imagine what, because you're not being fed everything like a FIFA game where you see everything like crystal clear. And maybe that appeals to an open-minded person, and people like that are a bit more nicer. Maybe that's my current theory, but there has to be something, because
you feel like it could be a really good social experiment to sort of sit down and look at it. For me, there's a couple of factors. There's that sort of community who played Football Manager, and unless you streamed it and did content around it, you've always played on your own. But you always want to tell your mates about this really cool save you've got, and these really cool wonder kids, and I've done this. This is the perfect platform to do that. You can do it against other people, real life, and it's dynamic and fluid and it changes. Also, I couldn't put a figure on the percentage, but how much is shrouded in mystery around MFL in terms of what works, what doesn't, what has an impact, what doesn't have an impact, how much players might grow, because you can't exactly jump on Google and look for the top 10 wonder kids for exposition. It doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
So there's all that sort of element, and people love being able to share success. And people, what I'm seeing more and more, aren't afraid of asking for help, which I love. I think that's awesome. I mean, I'm not too proud to sort of say, you know what, I was struggling last season with the engine. I had some success, but I was struggling. And I started networking and chatting to folk and found out, actually, I wasn't too far off the money, really. I just needed to focusing on a few more areas and a few more suggestions and ideas. And people are willing to share because it is very much a community game. And yeah, you want to beat each other, of course you do, but it's better to beat your opposition knowing they're doing just as well as I am. I've got the better of them, as opposed to I'm beating this manager because actually I've got all the edges because I've worked it all out and they haven't worked out anything. So that's why we were discussing our pod, the tactic corner stuff that we do. We're like, oh, well, should we be sharing tactics? And we're like, actually, it's the one area of the game that everyone more or less wants help with. So why not? We'll give.
And it's constantly changing as well. So it's not like you get a tactic and you're like, I'm good for life now. It's like, no, next season I'm like, wingers aren't working or DMs aren't working. So I think you've hit a winner, mate.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that bit of the
I'm
Yorkshire
really
Tea
enjoying it.
podcast.
Yeah, it's the one we get the most engagement with, to be fair.
Yeah, it's great.
As in people wanting to find their things, and people like Bruce in particular, he's so good at the tactical side of the game. And I don't think Root's a bit harsh on himself around the tactical thing. It's kind of because he's shoehorned into a number of particular tactics because he's got a certain style of play that he likes to play or a certain position he wants to see do well. And that's good to have an ethos. Like, why
Yeah.
not? If you enjoy that, lean into what you enjoy. And if it works, live and die by the sword, as it were, with the tactic, go for it. But I think we've all sort of finding different things that seem to work on a consistent basis because it came up in the last pod where we were talking about the out of possession tactics. Like everyone basically plays high press, balanced aggression, play out the back.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone does the same thing, and then it's just a toggle of the lines. But there's so many different ways to play this, and I love there's never a meta. There's always stronger formations per engine. And I think I was chatting with Kev once, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying, but it's tinfoil hat theory around why they do this. It's like, well, you know what? Wingbacks haven't been very valuable in the game for very long, or they're not shifting, or people are trying to buy them. And you think about every transaction, MFL take a cut, they make money out of it. Well, technically, is it Dapper? I don't know. Someone makes money out of it anyway. So if we have an engine that aids fullbacks like the five backs do well for a season, suddenly everyone wants to buy them. CDMs are hard to come by this season because I believe it's a CDM engine at the moment. Wingers last season were hard or very pricey because winger formations were the dominant ones last season. And we have this endless cycle that changes every year. I think that makes it interesting, though.
Yeah, I like that. I might be getting my tinfoil hat on. I think I'm agreeing with that. Yeah, hang on.
Why not? Why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
and if ever in doubt, it's never the fact that I'm rubbish. I could have said a different word, but I'm being gross. It's not that I'm rubbish; it's that the game's rubbish.
Yeah.
That's the general mantra. If you're an MFL manager, that's how it works.
Yeah. Oh, I was all set for last season's engine. I guess this season it's all the engine's fault then.
Yeah. I think it wasn't last season. The season before, I'd done copious testing on a three.
I forgot about my game keyboard.
I'd done copious testing on a 352B, and I was like, look, I've done 20 games. I've got like a 75% win ratio. I've got a plus 30 goal difference, and all these different things. And then they made some amendments because there was an issue with the engine, and it absolutely cleaned out that particular tactic. But I was stubborn until the mid-season. I was like, no, I know it works. I've tested it, and it definitely works. And literally all my teams that were supposed to be like promotion materials up mid-table, lower half, just below the just about relegating. I was like, what is going on? And that was the point that I swallowed my pride. I went, you know what? As much as I like the tactics, I feel like I'm doing a decent job of it. Just start talking to people about it. Let's chat about it. Let's see what they're doing. And that was the first time I reached out to Kev at that point. He was like, yeah, 2 DM formations have been killed, been absolutely nerfed. 352 might work better, or this will, or that will. But I'd sort of built all my teams around 352, no fullbacks inside. And I was like, crap.
Maybe next year.
Then it's time to all shift it all up. So yeah, tactical flexibility is so important, I feel. So important.
Yeah. It's something I need to do more of. It's like when I was first starting off, it wasn't that noticeable. And I could get away with the same formation all season in like Spark when I first started. Last season in Ice, I was starting to notice it definitely like, okay, I have to be more flexible because they're being more flexible. They're changing. And now in Stone, I'm expecting it to be even more. You need to be on it tactically. But that might be my salvation, as we said at the beginning of the episode. That might be what saves me, maybe, is that playing around with it. So
yeah,
been a good episode. I've got lots of thought about. I feel this has been a productive episode. I feel energized to go and do friendlies now.
Good. I'm pleased you are, mate. I think there's so much to go at with this. So yeah, I think don't view the predictions as that's gospel. That's what's going to happen. It's not written. It's written in the stars. No, you can counteract that. You can move against it. So yeah, best of luck to you for this season.
No, likewise, mate. Likewise with all your projects, all your clubs. I hope they do well. I hope progression flows. Do we need to promote anything else other than the fantastic Yorkshire TNXP podcast?
I don't think so, mate. I think we're all covered there. Thanks for the bit of the plug on that one. cheers for inviting us on. I do really enjoy your content. The more MFL content we have, the merrier. And I am enjoying the content, so keep it up. The more people you can get on doing this sort of stuff, the better.
Now, the last thing we're going to finish up with is my MFL doc is coming back for season 10. So I've been asking guests to just, I'm going to make a montage of them all going, saying that they're excited it's coming back, and then I'll use that just before season 10. So if you could just improvise some kind of like passion for how excited you are that the MFL doc is coming back, then we'll chuck you in the montage.
The dog's on my lap. Let me get the dog off the chair so I don't terrify the air. Otherwise, the dog's going to catapult into the air. So let me think about it. So it's got to be sort of a case of, let me have a think about this. Sort of a, compose myself.
Yeah, I like it. Get in character.
No way. Next season. Oh, I can't believe this. I've been waiting for this for ages. There you go.
I love it. I love it.
There you go. You just got a little snippet there.
I like it.
That quick sort of little dramatic music in the background as you're plugging them all together.
Yeah. That could even be between
like the next Netflix series.
2 pieces of text. It could be like coming season 10. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And then the next bit. Yeah. Oh, perfect, Mr. K.
There you go.
You're a pro.
No worries, mate.
Thanks for coming on. You're welcome anytime. We do have a few guests in the next coming weeks, but you know.
Anytime, but not soon.
Anytime, maybe after in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Mate, good luck. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Peace,
mate.
guys.
Best of luck, everyone. See you next time. Bye.